privilege it is to present to you my nominee for the legislature's consideration and approval of the next Attorney General for the greatest state in the United States of America, the state of California, Rob Bonta.
Office as Attorney General
of Attorney General
The state of California.
for the state of California.
Congratulations, Mr. Attorney General. Well done.
Hello everyone, we have the newly elected Attorney General for the state of California, Mr. Rob Bonta, right here with us in Pleasanton for another fundraiser event by none other than Johal. It's a matter of honor and pride for all of us to have you, Rob, as the next Attorney General. And if I read the history, then Kamala Harris was the one who has been California Attorney General from Asian origin in the past. And you are the second one. How does it feel?
It's a huge honor. It's a huge honor to be in the role as California's Attorney General. Honestly, the honor and privilege of a lifetime for me. As someone who has cared deeply about service, this role provides an opportunity to change people's lives for the better. The first Filipino-American Attorney General in the history of California, and the second Asian American. And especially right now in this moment when the Asian American community is facing so many challenges, including being attacked because of who we are and where we're from, a lot of the hate violence that's happening, even more important that I be in this role and see and value and fight for my community. So I'm honored and excited, and I'm very proud to be here with Joe. The community has been just incredible in terms of opening their arms to me and showing their warmth and support, and that means the world to me.
Throughout our history, too many of us have felt the sting of hate and discrimination. And as a reminder of that, I keep a photograph in my office of a hotel lobby sign in 1920 Stockton that says, "Positively no Filipinos allowed." It's going to take all of us working together to take on hate and its toxic effects on our society. But we must stand united against hate. Because in today's California, everyone is not just allowed, we belong. Too many of us have faced attacks because of who we are, where we're from, or who we love. Crimes that are motivated by hate persist and continue to leave deep, lasting scars. And injustice against one is an injustice against all. The recent reported rise in racist and xenophobic attacks on members of the API community in particular must be addressed with decisive action. At the California Department of Justice, we are committed to assisting our local, state, and federal partners in tackling hate crimes wherever they occur. Now more than ever, we need to work together because all communities deserve to be seen, to be valued, and to be protected.
And I know you're also supporting the API, which is Asian Islander Pacific Community Support, so that people should stop hating other communities and live in harmony altogether as one community, as the citizens of the United States of America. So tell us a little more about that initiative.
Well, I started what's called the Racial Justice Bureau in the California Attorney General's office to make sure that we called out racial injustice, including hate, and that all of our communities knew that their Attorney General was going to be fighting for them. So to the API community, I say, I see you, I value you, I am you. I'm an immigrant from the Philippines. I came when I was 2 months old. My mom is an immigrant who came when she was 28 on a 3-week ship ride, and our strength is our diversity, and we need to understand our, as Martin Luther King Jr. said, our inescapable network of mutuality, our togetherness, our connectedness, and that we need to fight for each other, and we can all succeed, and one person's success doesn't require someone else's failure. So we need to really address the hate and attack the forces of hate, and the fights of the API community right now will be my fights.
Why does Rob Bonta demand justice? It's in his DNA. Rob's parents were activists who marched for civil rights in Selma and advocated for democracy in the Philippines. In California, they joined Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta as organizers, demanding fair treatment for exploited farm workers. His parents taught him, when something's not right, it's time to fight. And that's exactly what Rob did. In the state assembly, Rob wrote California's Green New Deal and took on big corporations who pollute our air and water. Rob repealed racist sentencing laws and banned for-profit prisons. As California's Attorney General, Rob won't back down. Standing with Asian American neighbors, and defending all our communities from hate crimes.
Newly elected Attorney General of California, Rob Bonta, is right here with us at Johal's residence for another fundraiser that has been in place by Indian Americans. And we have here with us, towards my right, Mr. Inder Dosanjh, Mr. Rob Bonta himself, and Johal. This is a very proud moment that we have another person from Asian origin who is now going to represent as an Attorney General for the state of California. What's your take on this?
You know, it's been really exceptional for our community that we have had two now in the last 4 years. So Rob, obviously, he is from Alameda County. He's been here forever, and he's our person that knows our issues. And he's going to well represent not only the issues for the Asian American, but also for the Americans as well overall. And that's what we're looking forward to. It's an honor. It's really tough doing a fundraiser at this time, especially with COVID just ending 2 weeks ago. We were not looking forward to it. My brother, Inder Dosanjh there, kind of twisted my arm saying we have to do this. And I was the last person standing, and here we are putting it together. But it's our honor, and we're looking forward to a long, long relationship. And I'm going to pass the mic to my brother here.
And I agree with Joe. It's really crucial to have, I think it's time that we have an Asian Attorney General that understands all the issues that are going on.
Turban is part of me. That's my identity. And we have seen numerous cases where there have been discrimination based upon the identity, somebody misunderstanding our turban, and we have faced it.
There is a lot of hate crime that Sikhs have faced, and which is really not good,
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything particular in your mind to support Sikh Americans?
Definitely. Right after the horrific and tragic shooting involving Sikh Americans, I was actually texting with Inder, and I said, what can I do? How can I help? And he offered to introduce me to some of the leaders in the Sikh community and to visit some of the temples to build a relationship and make sure that they know that I'm here to fight for them and that I have their back. So absolutely, with respect to the Sikh community and all communities that are facing hate and discrimination right now, they need an AG who's going to stand up for them, and that's what I'll do.
Sat Sri Akal. I'm Rob Bonta, California Attorney General. As Sikh American Awareness and Appreciation Month comes to a close, I want to take a moment to recognize and celebrate the approximately 250,000 Sikhs who live in California, including those who work here at the Department of Justice, like Kanwal Roop.
I work to uphold the civil rights of all Californians as the Deputy Attorney General for the California Department of Justice in the Civil Rights Enforcement section. As a Sikh, my faith compels me to fight against injustice, to protect those who are being oppressed, and to serve the public with compassion.
Sikhs have contributed to our American story for over 150 years. And in the Golden State, we are proud to be home to the oldest, the largest, and the most vibrant Sikh community in the nation. In fact, the first Gurdwara in the country was built right here in the Central Valley in Stockton, California. Sikh Americans like Harinder have deep roots in communities all across our state.
I'm Harinder Kapoor. As a Sikh, I was taught the values of equality of all humankind, engaging in seva or selfless service, and striving for justice for the benefit and prosperity of all. These core values inform my work and align with the mission of the Department of Justice.
One of the core beliefs of Sikhism is striving for justice, justice that benefits and supports the prosperity of all people. As your Attorney General, I share that commitment as I defend our state's laws and advance justice for every Californian. This month and every month, I am proud to stand with the Sikh community, including countless public servants at the California Department of Justice.
The mass shooting has been on everybody's mind in the Santa Clara County after VTA incident happened. One of the Sikh member was part of it, but mass shooting is happening all over the country, one every day. There's a big gap that all mass shooters end up killing themselves because they are mentally ill. And this mental illness never gets checked anywhere in the law.
That gun violence is America's disease. I feel deeply saddened by these losses, for these families who in the blink of an eye lost a mother, father, sister, or brother. But I also feel anger and frustration. It's time now to channel our emotions into action. And while no one law is a panacea, we have to do more than the status quo. In California, we have strong, common sense gun laws, but we need similar laws in other states and at the federal level. As a country, we can save lives with universal background checks, a renewed assault weapons ban, and a ban on high-capacity magazines. On National Gun Violence Awareness Day, as we remember the lives we've lost, let's also remember that the cure to America's disease starts with action.
If you all could just do me a favor and look to your left, look to your right, look in front of you, look behind you, and see if we all look alike. And I don't think we do, right? We have African American, we have Filipino, we have Irish, we have Indian, we have Asian, we have Chinese, we have and Jewish, and my Jewish friend, and it is so, we are so blessed that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you look like or what you represent, as long as you're safe. Right? My job as a sheriff and Rob's job as Attorney General is to make sure you're safe. We do our best to make sure you're safe. Here's 4 things we do to make sure you're safe. 1, we have to prevent crime. We prevent crime, you're safe. 2, we have to enforce crime. We have to enforce the people that are out there committing those mass shootings that you heard. We have to make sure that they were taken into custody and dealt with in a very strict manner. Next, we need to have programs so they don't reoffend. And then services for those people who have challenges that don't want to be involved in the criminal justice system. So we give them services so they don't have to be arrested. So if we can work on prevention, enforcement programs and service, and provide you the safety that you want, we'll have a great Attorney General and a great Sheriff of Alameda County.
In his first 100 days as Attorney General, Rob's not backing down. He won billions for families harmed by Big Pharma and defended California's assault weapons ban in court. Rob is prosecuting major polluters and demanding a justice system where every Californian is equal. Rob's fight has just begun.
Absolutely, and you have been very local to this place. You've been on the City Council for the Alameda County. You've also been a State Assembly member from District 18, which covers most of the East Bay area. So what are the typical characteristics of this part of the land? And as an Attorney General, what are the special things that you're seeing for this region?
Yeah, I've had the honor of starting in local office, Alameda Healthcare District Board, then Alameda City Council, as you mentioned, then Assembly Member for Oakland, Alameda, and San Leandro. And the constituents of this district are very in tune and excited about what's happening in public policy. They are enlightened, they are social justice oriented, and they know exactly what their legislator and their leader is doing, and they hold that person accountable, and that's what I like. I'm their voice. I fight for them. I'm their representative. And so we've pride ourselves here in the East Bay as being leaders. There's a saying in politics, as California goes, so goes the nation. And I like to say, as the East Bay and Alameda County go, so goes California. So it's an incredible group of constituents that I've had the honor to serve for almost more than a decade now.
The one thing I can tell you after 8 years of working every day with Rob Bonta is that he's decent, he's kind, and he's fair.
Attorney General Bonta, seeing you and seeing Governor Newsom appoint you, I was more happy about your appointment than mine. Because, and I'm honest, because at that time it was needed. It was needed to show that at a higher level in government, that representatives whose communities were going through hardships or hate crimes, there was going to be a voice for them, there was going to be an advocate for them. And that's you now. And for the next 4 years and for many years to come, we really count on you to protecting all of us and protecting all of our struggles.
We just came away so impressed with his understanding of our whole system of justice, his just the intelligence that he showed. So I'm a very big supporter of Rob Bonta.
His biggest strength is accessibility. If you guys haven't tried it, you will try it. If you need him, he's there for you. You will answer the phone, he will represent you. And that's all we can ask. We're not always going to agree on everything. We already know that, right? I mean, if you get 20 or 100 people in a room, you're going to have difference of opinions. But at the end of the day, we need to make sure we're all standing together and unified for the common good of where we come from, where we got to be.
We all are Americans. However, we may be treated differently. But we have to take responsibility in our own hand to change that. Rob is the guy that coming up after he served in the city council, mayor, and in the assembly, and now he's the first Asian, first Filipino attorney general. Let's give Rob a great
A huge debt of gratitude and a huge thank you. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you to Joe and the Johal family for hosting us, for putting this together. My parents were both part of incredible social justice movements, activists to the core, fierce forces for fairness. My dad marched in Selma, Alabama. He was a grad student at Berkeley, and he had another colleague who was on the ground in Selma marching and who was an activist, and he was recording the voice of this leader who was speaking about a fairer society and a more equal world and a different America. And he would record this voice and send it to my dad by mail. My dad would eagerly await this package. He'd tear it open, he'd put the cassette tape in the cassette player, and he'd press play. And he would listen to the words and voice of Martin Luther King Jr. And he felt so compelled by those words, by that vision and aspiration for an America that was closer to our ideals of being a perfect union, that was more equal, more just, more fair, that he felt a call to go to Selma. And he jumped on a train, he rode the Amtrak for 3 weeks, he went to Selma, Alabama, he listened to Martin Luther King Jr. speak in church, he met an incredible leader named Stokely Carmichael, he organized for civil rights and he organized for voting rights. When we came from the Philippines and came to California for the first time, my parents worked for the United Farm Workers of America. They collected signatures outside of supermarkets as part of the lettuce boycott. We were then invited to go to La Paz, the headquarters of the movement. My Central Valley folks know La Paz well. The headquarters of the UFW movement in the Tehachapi Mountains. My older sister, my younger brother, and I lived in a trailer with my mom and my dad. My dad worked in the front office with Cesar Chavez. My mom worked in the preschool. She worked with Dolores Huerta. We would help host an incredible leader named Philip Veracruz, a Filipino leader who's not talked about enough, in our trailer for Filipino breakfast when he would come for meetings. And my parents fought for fair treatment and safe working conditions for workers. And that's the spirit that I grew up in. Parents who taught me that everyday people can create the greatest change in our world. They taught me the value of service and the importance of it. And I also thought I saw them ask people with position, with titles, with power, in suits, to help the people that they cared about. I believe that I'm the people's attorney to fight for everyday people, especially those who are voiceless and vulnerable, who have been hurt or harmed or abused, and need someone to fight for them, someone who will be their champion, including when the little guy is abused by the overreach of power of the big guy, or when people are victims of hate crimes because of who they are, or where they're from, or how they worship, or who they love. It is the Attorney General's role to stand up and defend those people. So to the API community, to the Sikh community, to everyone who's facing the sting of hate right now, I have felt that myself. I see you, I value you, and I am you. I am from the Asian American community. I know what is happening right now. And I will be by your side, I'll take care of you. Your fights will be my fights. And we're doing incredible things. We talked about the assault, we were talking about gun violence and the horrific and tragic mass shootings that involve many Sikh Americans. And we had a judge who struck down the 3 decades old assault weapons ban that we have in California that has kept people safe and has saved lives. We appealed that immediately, and we got a stay on it, so the assault weapons ban is still in place while we appeal that order. We believe in common sense, constitutional, lawful gun laws. So I know you all care about your families and love your families. I know you all want your families to succeed. I want mine to as well. And we can do that when we fight for one another, when we see each other, when we value one another, when we pursue unity instead of division, and when we take on the forces of hate and the other challenges that we're facing together. So I know we're going to accomplish a lot together. Let me end where I started with a huge thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you to Joe and the whole team, all the co-hosts, and everyone for being here.
So now that this is a fundraiser that is supported in totality by most of the Indian Americans here in the East Bay, what is your message to the viewers and everyone who wants to support you?
My message is thank you for your support. It's an honor to be here, to be in Joe's home with so many incredible supporters, and I am honored to serve in this role as California Attorney General to fight for all Californians, certainly our API community and our Indian community. Everyone deserves to be able to succeed and thrive in California, and your fights will be my fights. I'll have your back. I'll take care of you.